Bienvenidos, Ushamdi, and welcome CTS-131, Section 875 students for the Spring 2018 semester at Anne Arundel Community College. This is the Routing and Switching Essentials V6 course, or the Networking 2 course from AACC. And this morning's Packet Tracer tutorial and solution set is going to be on our Chapter 1 skills. So as we go to wrap up Chapter 1 here in Week 3, we are looking at an initial router configuration. Now, this task should look familiar to you, except there's going to be a few wrinkles that have been added in. So let's jump to the topology. As you can see here, we have a very familiar looking topology with PCs 1 through 4. We've got a couple routers set up here, 4 switches, and it looks like we've got links that are down. So here is the addressing table information that we're going to be using, and the change here is we've got quite a bit of IPv6 information that we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and dive in. R1 and R2 have already been configured with IP addresses on the serial interfaces, and static routes have already been added in. So our task, we're going to be configuring the LAN interfaces and statically assigning IPs to the PCs. And I think we're going to be able to squeeze in, yeah, we can get everything in one window here so we don't have to roll up and down. All right, so we've got 56 total points. Let's dive in here. So configure the following on router 1 and router 2. So we'll start with router 1, and the good news here is we're working on the routers. The font size is going to be nice and large, and we'll be able to see everything. So here is router 1. And let's go ahead and dive in. As you can see, we are in user exec mode as indicated by the greater than sign. When I say enable, that's going to put me into privilege exec. We don't have an enable password set, so we were not prompted with it. My guess is we're going to be adding that in here. So let's put the host name in first. Well, the host name is just the host name is just R1. So we say host name R1. Secure access to the console using the password Cisco. So we'll say line con0, and our password is going to be Cisco. Secure access to the terminal lines, those VTY virtual terminal lines that we use for Telnet and SSH access. So line VTY 0 to 15, and we're going to say it is also Cisco. So I'll use the up arrow to pull that command back. And here we go. Secure privilege exec mode with the password class. Now, we need to stop here and think about this. They're saying secure the access to the, secure privilege exec mode with the password class. It doesn't say secret class, but is that truly what they mean? Well, let's find out. There's only one way to find out, and that's to configure it. So we're going to, let's get out of the line configuration mode here. So we're going to say enable, and do we want password? So we're at 3 out of 56 right now. And I'll say class. We're at 3 out of 56. When I enter this command in, do we get any points for that? We do not, right? And we shouldn't, because using enable password, if I say do show run, you can see that we end up with what, if we were to enable service password encryption, would be a type 7 password. We end up with this password in clear text, and that is not good. That's not going to help us prevent shoulder surfing, right? And again, we didn't get points for that. What they're looking for is enable secret. So even though it's said with password class, we want to do this in the secret context, right? So enable secret class. Now it says we've already enabled, and we did get a point for that, right? So that's correct. So I'm going to say no enable password. So we'll get rid of that class. Whoops, do show run. Is that what I had in there? Do show run. And yeah, oh, so I'm sorry. So we'll say no enable password class. And it doesn't like that. I'll just say no enable password. Is that going to get rid of it? Do show run. Just making sure we cleaned it up. Okay, we cleaned it up. We're still at 4 out of 56, and so off we go on to the next task, which is the banner message. Now again, we have to be careful here in the previous activities we've done. We've seen where sometimes we could put some spaces in here, sometimes we can't. So I'm going to use the % sign as our delimiter. And it says exactly as it is shown there. Warning, exclamation mark, quotes, and I will put no spaces in there. And we'll see if we go from 4 points up to any additional points. We did not. So is it that it doesn't want the quotation marks around warning? So we'll say no banner MOTD, and I'll come back and say banner MOTD, and we'll do it like this, warning exclamation mark, and I'll use the % sign. So I've removed the double quotes. Let's see if that is what it was interested in, and it was. So again, you can see it says must be typed exactly with the correct case and punctuation, but without those double quotation marks. All right, configure and activate the LAN interfaces using the IPv4 and IPv6 addressing information here in our addressing table. All right, so we're going to get some bonus work. Do show IP interface brief. You can see we've got gig 00 and 01. They're both administratively down and both not configured. So we'll start with int gig 00. We'll say IP address 172.31.21.254, and it is a so it's a /31. I'm sorry, not 31, 23. We've got a /23 there, the 255, 255, 254.0. Now the good news is they give us the subnet mask in dotted decimal notation. So that is certainly going to make it a little easier. So we've got a /23 that we're working with. All right, so that's the IPv4 addressing. Now let's get the IPv6 addressing information on here. 2001 colon DB8 colon, and that is C001 colon 1//1/64. And then we've got a link local address that we're going to put in here. So IPv6 address FE80 ::1. Now we have to say link local, right? If we leave that off, we are not going to, the command's going to actually give us an error. So not only are you not going to get the points, you're going to get an error message for your efforts. So make sure you put link local on there. Now, what else do we need to do here? Yeah, we need to say no shut. We need to bring those interfaces, or that interface, up so that those IP addresses are going to be reachable. Now let's get into interface gigabit Ethernet 01. We're going to say IP address 172.31.23.254, and our subnet mask, again, a /23 254.0. And IPv6 address is going to be 2001 colon DB8 colon cool, is what it looks like they're trying to do here, colon 2 ::1/64. Let me double check that. And then we'll say IPv6 address FE80 ::1, and this is a link local address. And then we want to end with no shut to make sure we bring that interface up. Now, in terms of the LAN interfaces, do show IP interface brief. All right, so you can see we've got the interfaces in an up state. What about a do show IPv6 interface brief? And we've got our IPv6 addressing information there. So we're all set on router 1. Now let's go ahead and jump on to router number 2. And we're going to do the exact same thing for router number 2 to make sure that it is ready to go. So let's go from user exec, as evidenced by that greater than sign. We use the enable command to get into privilege exec, which is the hash or the pound sign. And then for global config, we say configure terminal or just conf t. I'm going to go into interface gigabit Ethernet 00, and let's say no shut right out of the gate here. And then we'll say IP address, and this is going to be 172.31.24.254. And we're going to use a /24 on this side, right? So in dotted decimal notation, the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. And then we are going to say IPv6 address is 2001 DB8, and is it cool again? Let's see, DB8 ::C001 for cool. :3 ::1/64. We need a link local. And we use FE80::2 because it's router 2, and we need to say link local. And remember, if this router had 1,000 interfaces, I could set the link local to FE80::2 on all 1,000 interfaces. Remember, the link local IPv6 address is exactly that. It is only relevant, right, on that individual link. You cannot route the link local addresses. Okay, so we've got FE80::2, and did we say, I think we said no shut already. I'll say no shut again just for good measure. Now let's get into interface gigabit Ethernet 0.1. We'll say no shut right out of the gate, and IP address is 172.31.25.254, and again, we're working, and okay, yeah, so I'm just double checking here. Yeah, /24, 255.255.255.0. Right? And then our IPv6 address, 2001:DB8:cool, C001, or 001, colon, and this is going to be 4:1/64. And I forgot my ADD, whoops. There we go. And then IPv6 address, FE80::2, and this is a link local. And again, remember, not only are the link locals, I could put that same link local on all 1,000 interfaces on this router if that's what it had. Remember that when we say IPv6 address FE80::2 link local, that if I didn't do that, and actually that looks like that ship has sailed here, unfortunately, had I not said that, there would have been an IPv6 link local address auto-magically created for me, right? It would have been there auto-magically, and it would use what's called EUI. So the letters E as in Edward, U as in uniform, I as in India, EUI 64. And that's how Cisco routers, if you don't specify a link local address, and I immediately put on a global address, it will automatically create the link local for me. But you want to set the link local when you can, because that random string of EUI 64 characters, hex characters, is not easy to remember. The FE80::2, that's super easy to remember. All right, and so we already said no shut just for good measure, so do show IP interface brief. So we're up across the board here. How about a do show IPv6 interface brief? So same command, but instead of IP, we simply say IPv6. So everything looks good there. It looks like we're just shy of halfway through this activity. Now what are we going to do? We're going to configure PC IP addressing. And hold on a second. This said this should have been 32. Oh, of course. I did the IP addressing, but what did I not do? Boy, we jumped right to the IP addressing there and ran right past the first 5 things we were supposed to do. So we'll go back and say host name R2, because we want to gather up all these points. Secure access to the console line, so line con 0. Password is going to be Cisco. We'll say line VTY 0 to 15. I'll use the up arrow to recall the password command to save me some typing. And the enable password, I'll say exit. Enable secret is going to be class. We need a banner, and we know how the banner is going to behave here. Banner MOTD. I'm going to say no double quotes, warning, exclamation mark, and then my delimiter to close that out. And we should see a point for that at least, and we do. Must be typed exactly, and then we configured all of the interfaces, and I'm going to say do write mem. We're going to save things here just in case. So it looks like we may be 2 points short, but we'll see when we come back. I'm just double checking here real quick to see the terminal lines do show run. Let me come down and take a quick look here at, yeah, so we've got the terminal lines, we've got the console line. All right, all the IPv6 addressing is correct. So it should be 32 points. It's possible I missed something. We'll circle back. All right, let's knock out the IPs on the PC. So we'll just go in order here. PC1. So we pull up the PC1 window. I'm going to go to the desktop and the IP configuration. So PC1 is 172.31.25.254. And it puts that class B, but we know that we're going to be subnetting to a /23 with a 254.0. Now, default gateway, you can see that this is going to be the interface on the router, because in the previous activity 1313, we were dealing with a single VLAN subnet broadcast domain. Here we have 4, and I won't count the one between the routers, but for the PCs, right, we've got 4 mutually exclusive individual VLAN subnet broadcast domains that we're working with here, right? And technically, it could be the same VLAN, right? It could be VLAN 3 in all locations because we're not doing router on a stick. But again, we're going to say that a VLAN is a subnet, is a broadcast domain. So we're dealing with 4 of those individually. So I've got to tell PC1 that if you're trying to reach PC2, 3, or 4 who are not on our local network segment that we know about, that we have in our routing table, right? If we don't know how to get there, where do we go? Yeah, we go to router 1. So just throw the traffic over the fence to router 1. Let router 1 worry about how to route that information for us. So our default gateway is going to be 172.31.21.254, and no DNS information yet. All right. So we'll leave this up here. I'm actually going to pull up the, let's ping 172.31.21.254. So can I ping my default gateway? Can I ping the gig00 interface on router 1? And we should get a timeout maybe, and then this should work. And I'm anxiously awaiting for this to work, and it is not working. All right, so let's check a couple things. Let's check the gig00 interface. It is correct, 172.31. Aha. So, does anybody see a mistake here in this activity? So the default gateway is, and actually that may not be a mistake because we're doing, yeah, that's not a mistake actually. I was thinking /24. So that is not a mistake. Did I put the wrong? Let's go back here. Let's check this out. 172. Oh, yeah. So I said 172.31.25, and I was looking at that instead of looking at this. And that happens sometimes. So not only is my eyesight bad, so 172.31.20.10. How about that? And then 21.254, that is correct. All right, so fortuitous failure, right? We get a little troubleshooting in there. I've got to take a look. I've got to recognize it's a /24, so it's not a mistake here that that's 20 and that it's 21 over here. Those are in the same subnet, right, with that subnet mask. And now let's rerun that ping, and there we go. All right, so yeah, looking back and forth here, I looked up and grabbed that for the PC IP. All right, and that was not correct. So now let's pull up PC2, and let's go to work on PC2, making sure that we get the right IP address for PC2, 172.31.22.10. 255, 254.0. Our default gateway is going to be the gig01 interface on router 1. And you know what I just realized I forgot to do over here? We'll step back. On PC1, let's get that IPv6 information in here as well before I scramble away. 2001 DB8 : cool C001, oops, sorry, C001 :1::10, and this is going to be a /64. We've got our link local, and that's fine. It's auto magically created for us. But what about the gateway? Yeah, it's that link local FE80 ::1. So in addition to testing the IPv4, let's go ahead and make sure we test everything here. So 2001 DB8 C001 or C001 :1::: it should be 1 for the gig00 interface, and we've got connectivity. So at this point, we're good with PC1. Let's move to PC2. The default gateway for PC2 was going to be 172.31.23 172.168.254. No DNS required. Let's get that IPv6 address in here right out of the gate. 2001 DB8 colon C001 for cool colon 2 colon and my guess is 10/64, and the default gateway, nice and easy, FE80 colon 1. And you can see we picked up some significant points there. Let's test connectivity. Can I ping my default gateway, which is 172.31.23.254? I can. How about my IPv6 default gateway? 2001 DB8 colon cool colon 2 colon 1. And I can. So now if I can reach the router, let's see, does the router who has directly connected network statements, when we get on the router, we'll look at that, directly connected network statements for both of these networks, for PC1 and PC2, I should be able to say ping 172.31.20.10. And I can. So I can ping with IPv4 from PC2 to PC1. And what about IPv6? 2001 DB8 colon cool colon 1 colon 10. Is that right? Yeah, 110. Okay. And I've got connectivity. So my default gateway is working, right? So which is router 1. I'm able to send traffic to router 1. Router 1 sends that traffic to the subnet that hangs off of gig 00, and then the return traffic, right? The echo request goes out. That ICMP echo request goes out, and then my echo reply is coming back. So everything looks good on the left-hand side of our diagram. Let's pull PC3 up, and let's get our IP address information entered in on the right-hand side of our network. So the IP address for PC3 is 172.31.24. That was a close one there. .24.10. 255.255.255.0. So we're dealing with /24s. My default gateway is provided, right? This is the gig 00 interface on router 2. So 172.31.24.254. No DNS required. IPv6 information 2001 colon DB8 colon cool colon 3 colon 10. It's a /64. And FE80 colon 2, that link local address on router 2. And you can see it's bumped us up to 47 out of 56. So if I come over here under the command prompt, can I ping my default gateway 172.31.24.254? And maybe we lose the first packet. And then I should be able to ping successfully. And this leads me to believe that I've done something incorrect here. So let's check this out. Oh, 24, not 224. That is not on the same subnet as our router. So we rerun the command with the right IP address, and it works. And what about the IPv6 information? 2001 colon DB8 colon C001 colon, I'm double checking here to make sure we get the right, I'm sorry. I don't even need to do that. I could do that for that router interface, but I could ping FE80 colon 2, right? So I could ping FE80 colon 2 just as easily as that global unicast address. I could ping the link local address because I am on that link. And again, can I ping FE80 colon 1 if I wanted to ping these addresses over here, these interfaces over here? What happens? Yeah, no, I can't, right? Because again, remember, you can't route the link local. The link locals are significant on the link, right? On this link right here where they are connected. All right, so we've taken care of PC3. Let's knock out PC4. And so we bring up our desktop here and we configure the IP address for PC4 as 172.31.25.10. Let me .210.10. And 255.255.255.0, so it's a /24. Our default gateway is going to be the gig 01 interface on router 2. So 172.31.25.254, no DNS information required. So IPv6 2001 colon DB8 colon cool colon 4 colon 10/64. and then FE80::2. So PC4 is now fully configured. It looks like we're shy of about 2 points there. That's okay. We'll sort that out shortly. So can I ping PC3 172.31.24.10? And I can, which means I can get to my default gateway, and my default gateway, who is router 2, is going to get my traffic over to other networks. Now, for the real test, can I ping over to 172? Let's ping PC1, 172.31.20.10. 172.31.20.10. So I've got IPv4 connectivity all the way across. What about 22.10? So can I ping PC2? I can. So we've established connectivity from both sides of the network. However, we are still short. IPv4 based on the addressing table above. Assign the default gateway for both IPv4 and IPv6. Oh, so connectivity. So it looks like we're getting points for that. So let's come over to 3 and make sure that we can ping across to 172.31.20.10. Can I ping PC1? I can. And are we getting any points for that? We are not. All right, let's check it out. Can I ping to 22? And I think maybe what we need to do is come in the opposite direction here. So let me pull PC1 up. And can I ping 31.24.10? Is it looking for that? And we'll exhaust all options here. 24.10, what about 25.10? So the connectivity's there. We're not getting points. Let's see if I ping 2001 DB8 : cool, what's it going to be for PC3 there? :3. :10. So IPv6 connectivity works. Can I ping :4 : 10? And that works. Let's try from PC2. It's showing, and maybe that's not where we've lost our points. My guess is it's something up here. Privilege exec mode. Banner is good, and the LAN interface is all right. Let's go to check results here and see what it is it didn't like about our work. Oh, okay. So interesting. It is looking for the login on the console line. So, and here's why that is interesting. Okay, so we've got the routers up here, so let me stretch this out. So it's looking for us to say login. So if I'm on router 1 right now, and I hit enter, right, you'll notice that we get the warning MOTD, but I don't get prompted for the password which I put on there, because what did I forget to do? If I say enable, right, and now I have to put the enable password in, which was class, and I go into global config, and then into line con 0, I forgot to say log in. And that's what I left off, right? So we put the password in there, but implicit or implied in putting the password on is the fact that we're going to say log in. Let's pull up a real Cisco router here, right? This is router 11. It's a 1941. So let's go from user exec into privilege exec. And did I say class? What about Cisco? I can't remember what we set this to. ABC 123? Okay, ABC 123. All right, so we're going to get into global config. I'm going to go into line con 0. If I say password Cisco, and I type in and I log out, and I go to log back in, you notice it doesn't prompt me for the password. And the reason for that, and I forgot ABC 123, the reason ABC 123, the reason for that is because I forgot to say, line con 0, log in. So now when I log out, and I hit enter, and I try to log back in, what do we get? Yeah, we get the password prompt where I now need to say Cisco, or what do we say? Class? I can't remember. CISCO. There we go. Cisco. And now I'm into user exec mode. So this is my mistake. Again, fortuitous failure, right? We've got to go back, figure out what it is we did not do, and that gave us the point on router 1. Let's pull up router 2. And class. There we go. We'll get into global config with configure terminal, line con 0, and say login, right? And that forces it on the login. That's different from login local. Login local would mean that I'd have to have a user account here that we're going to check, and that it's not going to reference that local password, the login password I've set. It's going to look for a user name and password combination. And login authentication is if you were using a login server, like a Radius or a TACACS server. All right, well, that is 56 out of 56, and that is going to wrap up Packet Tracer Activity, or I should say the Chapter 1 Skills Packet Tracer Activity, where we did initial router configuration tasks, and this activity called into play some IPv6 information. All right, thanks for watching, and I will talk with you guys soon.